with the Western world completely changing on us, with economy changing, money's changing, political views look very different to how they were in the last 10 to 15 years. I'm going to be honest, the West to me, as a British Jamaican, does not feel the same. It just doesn't. So, how do you know if you are eligible to get your Jamaican passport? What is it that you need to know and how can you get it? So there's three main ways that you can get your Jamaican passport as a British Jamaican. And that is one by descent, one by marriage, and one by residency. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on descent. You can get your Jamaican passport through descent through your parents and through your grandparents. Now, if you have both parents that were born in Jamaica and, you know, have Jamaican birth certificates and can prove that, you are actually already a Jamaican. You're already classed as Jamaican. Even if you're born in the US or born in England, you are already Jamaican. You just need to get your documentation. However, for those that may have had one parent born in Jamaica and the other one wasn't, then yes, you need to go through the application form of getting your citizenships and your passport. If you're going to go through grandparent, it works similarly. You need to ensure that you have the ID for your grandparent that you are applying for your passport and citizenship through. If you are a UK resident, you're going to apply via the Jamaican High Commission. And let me make this extremely clear. If this is your first time applying for an adult passport and your citizenship, you cannot apply online. You cannot. You have got to go into the High Commission via an appointment system and book an appointment and have all your documents and the completed application and the fee to pay ready. Now, my understanding is that they receive fees via bank transfer because they're not doing postal orders and things like that. And I don't think you can pay in cash, but that's something you can clarify on their website. If you're not in the UK or you're not in London, you need to Google your nearest Jamaican High Commission or the Jamaican Consulate office. I believe that there's another one in Birmingham. So for those that are up in the Midlands or near the Midland area, that is the office I think you guys should be looking into. If anything's unsure, call the consulate and check their actual operating hours because they don't operate all the time, 9 to 5 every day. Different days look different hours, so just bear that in mind. There are no walk-ins for these appointments, so they have to be pre-booked. And the appointments are mandatory. There's no other way around this. You've got to do it via appointment, face to face, not online, not virtual, so forth. Let's talk about the documents you are going to need. If you're applying for your parents or grandparents, you need to ensure that you have all your ID in place. And the one pivotal piece of ID that you're really going to need is your birth certificate. If your birth certificate is in a very much derelict condition, it may not be accepted. You may need to reapply, and it has to be a certified original or a certified copy from local government services. You cannot just photocopy an existing one. You can't bring in a laminate version. It has to be the original. You also need your own ID, like your passport or your current passport, driver license, I think also proof of address and stuff like that. There's a long list online, but that is the quick snapshot for you. Now, once you're covered, that's great. But then you also need the ID of that parent or grandparent that you are going to get your citizenship and passports through. They need to also have their ID. Now, I'm very sure a lot of Jamaican children are aware of the double name business, where we've got a lot of parents or grandparents whose names don't always look this, well, you've got more than one name, let's put it like that. And if you've got a passport in one name and a birth certificate in another name and things just don't all add up, that will not be accepted. It's very easy for things to get lost over time, changed over time, and no one's kept up with it. So for your parents, their birth certificate has to match their ID. Their name has to be the same name on every single piece of documentation that you submit. It can't be Michael Wilson on the birth certificate and John Wilson on the passport. It will not be accepted. The application will be rejected and you may lose out on money. So if that is the case, and let's say, for example, your parent has a Jamaican birth certificate, they can't find it, or the details are different. There is an organization, I think they're based in Mobay. I could be wrong, I think it could be Kingston. But anyway, there's an organization that you can apply and get the certified copy of their birth certificate from Jamaica. And that should more or less sell everything. Now, if the name thing that I just mentioned is an issue where the original name on the birth certificate looks different, or maybe there's errors on it, or whatever the issue is, you can also get those details amended and changed. All is not lost. For your Jamaican passport, alongside your ID and that of your parent or grandparent, you need to have pictures taken. Now, the reason why the pictures are so important is because the dimensions of these pictures are very specific and very niche to the Jamaican process. You cannot just go to your local phone booth, take some pictures in one of those machines and walk with it. It's not going to work. You can't just go to a pharmacy and get these pictures done like what we'd usually do for a British or American passport. For the UK, there's a company that I would say understands the dimensions and what's required of the Jamaican passport. That is Snappy Snaps. They also are fully aware that there's certain pictures and certain tops that you have to wear that are quite bright and colourful and is distinct from a white background. So if you're thinking of going to get your pictures done at Snappy Snaps, do not wear a white top, please. It will not happen. Your application will be rejected again. Now, with all the ID, pictures in order, your application forms. Now, your application form for your citizenship versus your passport are two separate application forms. The citizenship application form looks a bit like a white and kind of light blue application, and then the passport one is just basically a white page with text boxes, and you'll be able to fill those in. Once you get the pictures done and that's sorted, your application and your pictures have got to be notarized, and they have to be notarized by someone in a particular profession, i.e. a doctor, a lawyer, like a justice of the peace. You've got to find someone to have it signed. Now, doctors, sometimes they tend to charge, so just bear that in mind. There may be that fee there if they're going to do it. You can also find a reverend that is ordained, and they can usually do it. And I can't lie, they more or less do it for free. I'm not gonna lie. I think their charity heart just lets them do it for free. But yeah, get a reverend, a pastor who's ordained to do it with an official body, by the way, so that they can notarize your application. So applications can vary, and also depending on what time of year you're submitting, the Kingston office, which all these applications go through, can move extremely fast or take a bit more time. I've heard some people get their passport in 2 to 3 weeks. I've heard some people say they've got their passport in 2 to 3 months, and even one person got their passport a whole 8 months later. And if you think that's long, you ain't seen the citizenship application. That one can take even longer. So if you need a speedy, in like a speedy rush or whatever, if I were you, I'd start the application today. So download the checklist down below for the Jamaican passport, just so that you are on track and you've got all that you need for your application. Anyway, guys, have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yes, if you want to know a bit more about the other routes into getting your Jamaican passport and Jamaican citizenship, just comment down below. And I'll hopefully see you guys at the next video when we talk about the benefits of having this powerful passport.